Four people have been killed in Douala already, as we speak right now. 4 by La Republique military. 4 people. Then imagine what they would have done to you, someone from the United Kingdoms of Tikar, someone from the Anglophone zone. Imagine what they would have done to you if you went out there to protest. And I cautioned us on this platform that those from the Anglophone zone stay away from this protest. And we had elites in our community going around saying, we don't have a problem with the Francophones. It's just the government. Go out and protest to protect your votes.
We are alive! We are alive!
The problem in your community, Anglophones, has always been the elite. They have always been the cause of our downfall, especially those above the age of 40. When you hear of Amadu Ahijo, you think it's an old man? No. He came to power at the age of 35. He was between 36 and 37 when he negotiated the Anglophone deal that his people are still benefiting from till today. 37. Those in the Francophone zone didn't say, oh, you're too young. No, let someone that is older, that knows better, go negotiate for you. Burkina Faso has Ibrahim Traore today. He came to power at the age of 34. I'm 1 year older than him. You will spend time with all these great ideas, and you have individuals in the community use age and suppress progress in our community. And this is their strategy. Let me show you. They will come around and tell you, oh, during the 1960s, we were out there, we saw what happened. They will go on, ramble, share some stories, and then say, oh, this is why you should listen to me. I was around the 1990s when we protested to ensure that we have universities in the Anglophone zone, and so we know better. Let me tell you what to do. That is their strategy. Always, all the time, they have this line of communication. They will find out your age just to put you down, and then they go on to tell you what they saw, and then tell you what to do. And they say, oh no, it's not something that I'm encouraging you to go do. It's just my opinion. People can take it or leave it. I just want to make it clear. If we see our people manifest on the ground based on your ideas, you will be held accountable. Anglophones, both home and abroad, watch every social media platform. Pay attention to what these elites are saying in our community, because we will hold you accountable.
We are alive!
With their poor leadership abroad, thousands of our young men have lost their lives. Many misguided because of these elites abroad, while they fight among themselves to become presidents. They want you to be polite, peaceful, and respectful while they serve you your poison. That is an Anglophone elite for you. That is an elder in the Anglophone community for you. It's unbelievable. Be very mindful of what you say. We have been in so much pain because of your ideas that don't work. You can never solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. I want to repeat again. You can never solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Because we see what you don't see. You celebrate Ibrahim Traore on social media today because he saw what you, the older folks, could not see at 34. Instead of supporting, sharing, what I'm putting out on this platform, you rather come up with an idea that reflected the thinking of the 60s and the 90s and keep our people in bondage before you leave earth. This has been the pattern in our community. It happens again and again and again.
All we want is a situation where we can sit down. If our people agree on federation, if it is independence, maybe, Chiroma is out there talking about a referendum, and I like that idea. I will wish that he puts it on the table in a referendum and let Ambazonians choose. That's all we're looking for. That's all we're looking for. And I hope that the words, as Ebony has said, which he is putting out now, right now, he will leave it when the moment comes.
You can never solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. For those who claimed they were former British Cameroon, they were for Ambazonia. If you went out and voted for Issa Churuma Bakari or Pobia or whoever, you are not fit to be on this mission. You are a confused person that doesn't know what they want. Even after Professor Carson Anyangwe said it meant nothing if you participate in this election, you still went out to vote.
Let me summarize it by saying there are 4 reasons, I think, why the so-called presidential elections in French Cameroon are redundant, not important, insignificant, and of little consequence as far as Ambazonia is concerned.
We cannot live in a society like this. Everybody knows, everybody has their own opinion. No, everyone is hurting because of your ideas.
Actuellement, de côté. Actuellement, de côté, une population spontanée est sortie.
This is what happened when pain has been suppressed. And this elite in our community do not understand the pain that has been suppressed in the Francophone zone. And you cannot control the attitude of the Northeast. And you want our people to join this mess, lose their life in the process, while you stay abroad or in your comfort homes, turn on your camera and speak. My people, do you know why Che Ayaba, who ran the ADF, one of the strongest military groups within the Ambazonian movement, the way he did? Because when Che Ayaba was young, in his 20s, the elites in the Anglophone zone rejected his ideas because he was young. He had to wait to grow old. When the opportunity presented itself, he took it and was radical and did what he did. Because of age syndrome in our community, we have to bury this. I've laid out strict instructions. The problem in this country is not just Pobia, and we have seen it. Because we can stand outside of the problem and see what is happening in the country. And we said our people should not participate. If they go out there and lose their lives, be ready to be accountable for your ideas. I know you think it's just your opinion and you are not instructing people to go out there and do what they don't want to do. If it's just your opinion, keep it to yourself. If you share it, we understand the strategy you're using to communicate. You have an objective and you want a certain outcome, and then you present your facts that way. These are people's lives. Let's listen some more.
Vous marchez. Spontanément, la population est sortie en deux côtés.
Because I'm from Bamenda.
My father was born in 1928. My biological father, not my grandfather. If he was alive, he would be 97 years old, older than Pobia, older than Cameroon, my biological father. So I grew up seeing all of these techniques that you're using. People will come through their age and they don't present an idea that even makes sense, that you can think that something good will come out of this idea. And then they pressure the rest and then say, oh, I'm old, so listen to me. If you went out to vote and you called yourself an Ambazonia, you're a confused individual. And they would tell you, oh, this problem is just between the people of the Anglophone zone and the government. We don't really have a problem with Francophones. Almost every Francophone has a domineering attitude. They feel like they are superior, and it is affecting our people every day. And the young people are experiencing this on a regular. The young people are experiencing this on the regular. Now, take a listen to this, and then we'll go on to listen to world leaders, what they think, those who are hoping that international community will come help them.
We lost court cases every day, not just because we are guilty, but because we can't say Yenesepa in French correctly. Of course, I'm from Bamenda. Applying for a job in the Francophone zone means changing your language, changing your name, and also changing your accent, hoping that they don't ask you to Sodu, because once a year, lo Bamenda, your sleep was your CV will automatically go to sleep. Of course, I'm from Bamenda. We ran away from gunshot and insecurity just to come to the Francophone zone and be treated like strangers in our own country. Of course, I'm from Bamenda. We, the Anglophones, were always blamed whenever things are going wrong in the country, but the Francophones, they're always taking credit when everything is going smoothly in the country. Of course, I'm from Bamenda. They call us the Bamenda. They minimize us, but creativity and talent still runs in our blood.
This is what the young people go through every day. You sit around your own close circle, listen to yourselves speak, and believe everything is fine. No, we pay attention to every detail. From TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, every social media platform. We are listening to the people, and we are in contact with the people on the ground themselves on a regular. We are in touch with their pain because we ourselves experienced what it means to live among Francophones. And again, there is no union treaty binding us with La République du Cameroun. So based on international law, we are not citizens of La République du Cameroun. Whatever you're trying to create, we don't know. Present to us a union treaty so that we can sleep at night knowing that Foncha signed, Britain signed, La République du Cameroun signed, and we have a union treaty because we live in a world governed by laws. And that is the only document that should make us citizens of La République du Cameroun.
In September, I reminded him, but unfortunately on 1st of October, I used the draft to declare federation and unification. We did not finish and must come back. So there things went wrong. And by the 6th of October, he had already made up his mind, scattered the already more or less got into the main cadre of the KNDPA and tried to scatter all and made some other laws which would make him the supreme president.
When we find ourselves in a situation like this, we don't try to decorate the house when the foundation is cracked. We don't try to put in new furniture when the foundation is cracked. No matter how you decorate my house, if I have the deed to that house, it will never be yours. That is what I see the Anglophone elites trying to do. The resolution 1608 was clear on its facts. We acknowledge the result of the plebiscite, but that doesn't make it a union. 102 of that resolution says, go and ratify a union treaty. So according to 76B, That union was never ratified. And hence, why these young people scream like this on social media, because of how they are being treated. Again, Aijo was 37. The Francophones allowed someone that they knew would step in front and negotiate a better deal for them. And he did at 37. Ibrahim Traore, 34, took over Burkina Faso. And the entire continent is chanting Ibrahim Traore. Here, this is what we did in the 90s. This is what we did in the 60s. This is what we did in the 70s. So we know better. Young people, stay quiet. Let us lead. You be prepared to be accountable for your ideas, because we are watching you guys on social media today, and your ideas are influencing our people. Again, if my father was alive today, he would be 97. He will be 97. Has gone through everything that you guys are going through in Cameroon. From Amadou Ahidjo to President Pobia, he saw everything. You always put our people in pain because of your age, and you can never see what the young people see. Because after 40, my brother, it is hard. Augustine Gomjwa cautioned Foncha about this transaction, and he could pull the plug and set up an administration, because legally we are not citizens of La République du Cameroun. As it stands, we are still that same status coming out of that UN trust agreement as it stands right now. But again, those from the southwest, the elites that love this union so much with La République du Cameroun, I've said, when you are making your publications, talk to those in the southwest. Be very distinct about your message.
We are live. We are live.
But make sure you ratify a union treaty with La République du Cameroun. That is my advice for you. As for those in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, this is time for you to expand your military, secure our eastern border. And if you are coming from La République du Cameroun, out of this crisis that is going on right now, and you know you will not uphold the laws of the United Kingdoms of Tikar, please either go to the southwest or go somewhere else. Not in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, because we will not entertain any confusion in the future. We will not entertain the idea of you trying to hold us together with La République du Cameroun, because you find yourself in the United Kingdoms of Tikar when you were running away from this crisis. Because we have seen this movie. This is not the first time. We've watched this movie before. It happened during the UPC era. We've watched this movie before. So those in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, stay away from this crisis. Expand your military. Secure your eastern border. That is what we should be doing. I've said it's so simple. With defense, justice, and infrastructure, we'll have a functioning system. And all the funds in the Northwest, this is time to get your act together and stand by your people. "37, a man from the north, came and negotiated a better deal for his people. Foncha was 45 at the time. Was already cautious about everything and went with the flow. He said he tried to get Amadou Ahidjo to sign the union treaty to no avail. Brother, just set up an administration and have a nation going. That is exactly what he would have done. And that is what we will do now. We don't have any business coming on the table to talk about with La République du Cameroon. If he didn't want to engage in signing the Union Treaty, that is saying I'm out of the deal. And that is a clear message. We do that every day. You have a conversation with someone and they're about to do business with you and all of a sudden they go cold. You move on. You don't stay in that mess and say, oh, I got him, I called him, I tried so we can sign a Union Treaty, but he didn't accept. I mean, just move on. He's saying I'm out of the deal.
In September, I reminded him, but unfortunately on 1st of October, I used the draft to declare federation and unification.
That is why we cannot deal with this age thing, then remain in bondage again after we present these facts and make it absolutely clear about the status that we have right now. All of a sudden they'll go around and say, oh, we did not hear about a better idea. No, I'm presenting a better idea now. So that tomorrow you say, oh, why didn't you say anything? I'm saying it now. So that tomorrow you won't tell me that where was I? Why didn't I speak? Be ready to be accountable for your ideas, because we will not spare anyone and their bloodline if they push an agenda that leads us astray again. The young people pay attention to the talking heads on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. And let me remind all those who are 1 foot in and 1 foot out, no matter how hard you try to support this system, you will always lose with your people. This is historically proven. Maybe this is the first time you are experiencing this. Any individual whoever stood against their people always lost at the end. And Amber, no matter what they do in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, will be forgiven tomorrow. But you that supports this government, your people will never ever forgive you. And if you don't start making amends right now, you don't start making adjustments right now, I'm just describing what your fate looks like. Do you understand? Yeah, your people will never ever forgive you. Imagine, people went out, took the sardine, took the bread, took the money. But when the time came for change, what happened? They went out and voted Issa Churuma and not Pobia. So if the true leader presents itself, the people will never ever stand with you supporting a corrupt regime. And if you believe in Cameroon so much, this is time for you to stay over there and fight for that country that you believe in. And if you run over to the northwest, to the United Kingdoms of Tikar, we don't want your ideas about La République anymore in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. Again, let that idea end at matters. Any colonial La République mindset ends at matters. As it stands, we don't have any Union Treaty binding us with La République du Cameroon. And this is a war governed by laws and not emotion and not acceptance of an idea that you have been conditioned in your entire life. You can program the people this way. Be free from it. If you can support. If you can join the military and protect our eastern borders. When they are done with their fight, we don't have any business with them anymore. We have a functioning nation here running. What are you begging for? What are you negotiating for? What is the referendum for? That means you're accepting that La République has some authority over us. By what standard? What is the proof? Hillary Clinton won Donald Trump in 2016 by 2.9 million votes. Did that make her the president of the United States of America? The Anglophones voted to join La République du Cameroon. The United Nations said we should go on and ratify a union treaty. That was not done. Does that automatically make us citizens of La République du Cameroon? We live in a world governed by laws, not emotion or sentiment. We should be guiding these people and not the other way around. This slavery that you always think you're smart and you take your people into, I want to caution us right now, because the young people will not take it funny with you. We will not take it lightly with you moving forward. The pain on us is too much. Running abroad, dying in the Sahara Desert, you will regurgitate that pain, but go ahead and make foolish decisions.
Priority. Ukrainians are peaceful people, but they are people who want to live freely in their own independent country. That's why we invest in defense. For many nations, there is simply no other way left. Nations can speak about their pain from stages like this, but even during bloodshed, there isn't a signal.
Those are war leaders gathered there. If you watch the entire meeting, you will realize that the world needs help. And you trying to rush to them for help is a waste of time. The world needs help. These are war leaders. And no one in there could provide for Ukraine a solution to their problem. Today, China is bragging of their own weapons that they are creating. That is where the world is going to. Machine with no soul. A mechanical world with no soul. And that is what we restore in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, coupled with a restorative justice system. Pobia, we will not punish you, but step down. Find a different country and go to. You can't stay in this country anymore because of all you've done. Atangan Jipol, the same thing. And your team. We will not punish you, but leave. And as you leave, make sure that you have some time with God to make amends for all the evil you have done on the people of the United Kingdoms of Tikar and the people of La République du Cameroon. Set up a functioning democratic system. This whole election is a facade. For me, honestly, people voted Issa Churuma Bakari not because he has a vision, because he said he would take down Pobia. And I want my people in the United Kingdoms of Tikar to go out there and protest on this. What I'm sharing with you here, go out and protest for this. This is what will free you and free your soul and your children's children. This is the time for us to be strong and not negotiate weak or have weak ideas that will not strengthen our people. Everyone must not speak if you don't understand what you're saying. It's that simple.
International institution that can truly stop it. That's how weak these institutions have become.
He said the institutions are weak. I bring them before you, because some people here, it is just like some entertainment, or they look for what is going to stir up their emotions, some gossip that they can go back and have a chat in the bar with their friends. They don't dial into the message. When I hear this and the response the leaders in there gave, told me instantly, the world needs help. And I will never rush to them for help. We can have strategic partnerships to solve global challenges. And any video you see me make about aligning with Trump or aligning with anyone around the globe is for strategic partnerships, because we have to exchange ideas. That is how the world has worked, through exchange of ideas, not retribution. Like I share all the stories of slavery that our people went through in the hands of Southwest in collaboration with the Europeans. Since our people don't understand restorative justice, they think acceptance is going to result to being punitive. No, we are not punishing you. This is restoration. Since our people don't know how to handle restorative justice, a foreign concept. Most don't even know what that is. But studying this in the seminary, I begin to understand what we as Christians were supposed to practice. Cameroon is about 70% Christians. We should be practicing restorative justice, not punitive, retributive justice. How they call us, come no go, separating themselves from us. And our ancestors are waking me up to that. When they go around saying, oh, you can't do without us. I say, no, you must be God to say that kind of a thing, brother. To tell, especially sub-Saharan Africa, if a black man rises up, look at another and say, you can't do without me, brother, you must be God. And I refuse to worship you. I will not worship you. So I draw the line. And that is what our ancestors are waking up to. Their ghosts are still roaming the streets of Southwest because of slavery and slave trade. This is not punitive. This is not retribution. This is restoration. Restorative justice system. Acknowledge the truth, share among your community. Blessings will come even upon your land. If not, confusion, even as you join the Republic to Cameroon. You must make amends on these things. And we'll have peace. We can do something big here through our behavior that the world learns from us. The West learns from us.
What can Sudan or Somalia or Palestine or any other people living through war really expect from the UN or the global system? For decades, just statements and statements. And because of international institutions are too weak, this madness continues. Even being part of a long-standing military alliance doesn't automatically mean you are safe. Just recently, 19 simple Russian drones violated Polish airspace, and only 4 were shut down. Luckily, they were not shaheeds or even worse. Otherwise, the results would have been horrific. Estonia had to call a UN Security Council meeting for the first time in history because
Estonia had to call the UN Security Council for a meeting. Estonia. And I said that is a classic example of our story. You see, our people run away from the past. They say, oh, it has passed. Let's not talk about it now. Let's not talk about it. It has passed. So they just want to move on to propagate falsehood. Why? Because our nature of justice is retributive and punitive. But if it is restorative, we will discuss issues of the past as mature people. Again, the United Kingdoms of Tikar will be a blessing to nations, a blessing to La Republic, to Cameroon, Nigeria, and surrounding nations and global nations. That is what we are building here. God brought 12 tribes out of Egypt to establish the nation of Israel. We are bringing 80, almost 80 tribes from the Northwest, as they call it now, out of this confusion to establish a nation that will bless God to the glory of our ancestors and God. That is what we are doing here. We will help La Republic du Cameroon be free. We will help Nigeria. We will help other people. We will help Western nations adjust their democracy. That we've had a version of it that doesn't work for us. If it's majority, then let's just choose. That is dangerous. That kind of democracy is dangerous. That means if we have majority of people tomorrow get up and say, let's kill Paul Biya, that majority are right. We just go take him down. Let's say majority say today, let's take down Issa Churuma. That majority vote, we just go bring down Paul Biya. You see our democracy. Are you guys listening to what you guys are doing here? Right? Majority. And majority based on the Bible is always wrong. The same people that came, Jesus Christ is Lord, when they saw miracle, that same majority turn around and say, crucify him. Majority. Gustave Le Bon wrote a book about the crowd psychology. People need guidance. Don't send them on the street if you don't understand what you're doing. Because I'm grounded in what I'm saying. I'm willing to put my life on what I say. If you are not willing, stay quiet. Do not get involved in the lives of our people. Speak for your people and be clear as you can in your speech while you instruct your people to go out there and march. So Estonia is a classic example, and I'm repeating this as clear as I can. Our people don't understand how to handle issues of the past. Too much emotion. That's why they ignore it. They just want to keep building on falsehood and going. If you have the maturity and grace to handle issues of the past, there is a lot we must adjust on the foundation of this country to make progress. If not, everything you're building is sinking sand. Imagine, my brother, you are building a house. The foundation is shaky. The foundation was not designed to carry a story building. And then you say, no, let's just add another story. Let's just keep adding another story. What is going to happen? You collapse. We know this in every other discipline except politics that has to do with people's lives and people's future. It's absurd that we think right now in politics, everybody has a voice. When if I come into your company and I just want to move things the way I feel, say no, everybody has to be free to do what they want, you will not allow me. Even in your house, you say there's order. Put your shoes here. Don't walk in this direction. You can't just open my pot. There is some order. Sit on the table. We will serve you food. We know all of this when it comes to other aspects of our life. But the most important aspect, leadership, we say, oh, everybody has a free will. Again, America is not a pure democracy. America is a constitutional republic. There is a constitution governing this country. And if your elections or your votes will not reflect the constitution of this country, the electoral college is going to consider that vote void. And they can vote anyone into office or out of office through the electoral college. And it's just 538 people that can override the votes of 341 million people that make up the population of the United States of America. Brother, you must be grounded in this thing. Well, not just cram it, but understand it in your blood. God must call you for a task like this. And you must study to show yourself approved. This is no joke. In technology, there are principles. If you want to get into IT, there are principles. In marketing, there are principles. Every discipline in life, there are principles. In the American political system, there are principles. You guys will live in this country, turn around and say, oh, majority just automatically makes someone the president. That is the kind of political system you have. That is sad. It's a bizarre. And I mean, I see responsible people trying to debate every day on how this election would have gone. See, Issa Chiruma should not be doing this if he was truly to become the president of the Republic of Cameroon. He should be resting, preparing, not fighting after doing the campaign. So we say, Pobia, hold on. We have to look at the foundation of this country. We seize this presidency. Redeploy your soldiers out of our land. We guide your people to set up a functioning government and democracy that works. And we can borrow you a moral technocracy. And you set up a structure that works in the Republic of Cameroon while we establish a nation that works. A German colony is different from a UN trust territory. This is not a continuation of German colony, La Republic du Cameroon. If that is the case, go and get Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Chad, Central African Republic, and some parts of Nigeria and make that the German Cameroon, and then we pick someone from La Republic du Cameroon and make them president. If that is how you think in 2025, you have a problem, brother. And I'll tell you as it is. If you call 20th May, reunification day, brother, you are lost. You need help. That is what assimilation does to a black man. Changes him. And now these individuals from the so-called Anglophone zone try to subject themselves under that individual to help them. You know the biggest problem we have in our mind? Majority. Majority is what confuses us. Size is what confuses us. Again, I repeat to you, we would have had Nigeria, not Burkina Faso. We would have had DRC, not Burkina Faso, on everybody's lips in Africa. Follow size. We would have had China come up with Christianity, not Israel. That's small Israel. No, let's go look for the biggest country with the biggest religion. And then that country will probably say something that makes sense because of their size. That is how you see the Republic come around. They need help. They need help. And the few that understand English, sit them down and tell them this is what your people are struggling with. Confusion in this your country. You will go nowhere with this. You will keep running abroad. You keep suffering. You keep struggling till you wake up from your slumber. Until you wake up from your slumber, you will keep suffering. As it stands, Southern Cameroons, by international law, is a UN trust territory that the decolonization process was never completed. We are not legally part of La République du Cameroun. So do not encourage our people to go participate in an election in another country because you have been raised to accept this system. Acceptance. You've been conditioned in this system. That's what you've known your whole life. It takes a divine spark for you to get out of this thinking. Listen to this. False systems don't survive by force alone. They survive by conditioning. Through school that teach dependence, not dignity. Through churches that preach obedience, not justice. Through media that normalizes silence. Through elections that reward emotions, not truth. Each generation inherits the mindset of the last until someone breaks the cycle by asking the forbidden question. Where is the treaty? That is all I asked. Where is the treaty? Because we live in a world governed by laws. So freedom begins when truth replaces habit. People cannot be free until they think freely. And they cannot think freely until they remember who they were before they were conquered. So we have to break the learned acceptance. That is the syndrome. That is the disease we are dealing with. Number one, we have to educate. We have to tell the historical truth even when it is uncomfortable. Like our slavery and slave trade story, German Cameroon and La République confusing that for a country, a colony, and a UN trust territory. They don't know the difference. They call it reunification. You teach that through education. That is number one. Number two, re-evaluate. We question everything that was taught as normal. Number three, we reconnect. We return to the moral, ancestral, and natural order that made governance sacred. Our funds did not just get in that throne by divine ordination, but they got in that throne as stewards of the people's resources, the people's lives. So our funds were morally upright, not smart politicians. We've gone back 4,000 years to look at what was practiced, to have perspective today. Do you understand that? So we reconnect We return to moral, ancestral, and natural order that made governance sacred. Number 4, we reorganize. We build new institutions that reflect truth, not imitations. Not just imitating the West. We build new institutions that reflects our truth. Why do we need the UN for this? Why do we need some foreign nations for this? Why can't we sit down and talk? Why can't you just redeploy the troops from the United Kingdoms of Tikar while we continue this conversation on how to help you? The conversation is not about how you will leave us. Leave. It's that simple.